fine. I miss it so much.
I know.
Oh yeah, fucking TikToks. Sorry.
Okay, so...
That was involuntary. So now we're talking about The Road Warrior.
This is the second in our
Mad Max series.
series.
Started with Mad Max, and now we're on The Road Warrior.
Gus, what do you think about this idea?
Okay.
If we ever got music,
Yes.
I think it would be funny to have, like, if we had, like, a short little theme song.
Yeah.
It'd be funny to, like, the theme song plays wherever we say the name of the movie, like, the first time. Because sometimes we're on here for 15 minutes before we even mention
say
what movie we're talking about.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we start the movie with that.
Mm-hmm.
So wouldn't that be kind of funny?
I
Or
think
is
that'd
that
be
just,
cool.
like, weird humor?
No, I think it'd be fun. I think that'd be a good way to do it. That's when we, like, cut into our intro.
Like, the intro starts whenever we mention the movie.
Yeah, no, I think that'd be cool.
Not that we will ever have that kind of budget.
Also true. We'd have to get some theme music first.
We'd have to get some monies.
Some of the monies.
Dineros.
Yeah, it would have to be in the black. Or the
green.
In the green.
Right?
I think it's black and red.
That's weird.
It's like if you're
Green
in red,
means go. Green.
I don't fucking know. This is why I'm not in finance. Let's be honest.
Green means go ahead and don't do that thing.
What?
Isn't that from The Office?
I don't know.
Michael Scott.
Is it? I know. Now I need to know.
Yeah, bro. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. I don't know exactly what the quote is, but it's something like that. Come on, tell me I'm close.
Did you know that in China there are 56
Oh, wait.
Is this it? Did you
No.
find it?
So he's writing things in, he's like color coding words
Yeah.
so that he knows what's appropriate to say and what's not.
Okay.
He said, green means go, so I know to go ahead and shut up about it. Orange means, orange, you glad you didn't bring it up.
Oh my god. There's some iconic moments from that show.
Yeah, you know what's sad?
I still think it's overrated, but
It's not overrated, and it would get canceled today. That's what's sad. Actually, pretty sure it did get canceled.
no, it didn't. It's still on.
Yeah, but they took some episodes out
It's
that were
still
offensive.
on Peacock.
Yeah,
they
but
did.
From Netflix. They removed them.
Netflix did.
No, I think The Office. I think NBC. I don't know who
Oh.
did.
Well,
but
it's on Peacock now.
there was. You don't have to say it like that.
What? I'm saying Peacock.
You're not funny, Gus.
You're laughing at it. I think it's pretty funny.
Okay.
Whew. All right.
Mad Max
We are talking about
2.
Mad Max 2, The Road Warrior.
Mad Max 2.
Yes.
Mad Max 2.
What? The fuck?
Mad Max 2.
Yes.
Our series. There's Mad Max 1.
Yep.
Mad Max 2, which is Mad Max 2.
Yeah. So Mad Max 1 was Mad Max.
Mad Max
Mad
1,
Max-
Mad Max.
Yeah.
Mad Max 2,
Mad
Mad
Max
Max
2.
2, The Road Warrior.
Yeah.
Mad Max 3,
Mad
Max
Beyond Thunderdome.
Beyond Thunderdome.
Yeah.
Mad Max 4, Mad Max Fury
Fury
Road.
Road. How did we just...
That's wait, that's something, right?
How did that just skip in our brains there? That's not good. That doesn't make me feel very good inside. Did we just forget what the... Okay, let's get...
Concussions aren't real, Gus.
Here we go, Dom.
Okay.
The Road Warrior.
George
is
Miller. Mel Gibson.
fucking amazing.
Dude,
It really is.
you know what makes this amazing?
What?
Might be the fact that actually Fury Road is amazing because of this movie.
100%. Because this movie has a pretty dope chase scene in it.
You know, we were talking about last week how, or last episode, depending on how this comes out.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking about how the first just Mad Max,
Yeah.
if it came out today, may not be successful. It might be kind of hit and miss.
Right.
it would probably take a few years for people to appreciate it, like it did.
Yes. Yeah.
This movie could come out today and it would be as successful as Fury Road was.
Absolutely. 100% agree with today with the tech that they have, with the budget they have. That's also kind of because like Fury Road is in ways very similar to this movie.
In a lot of ways.
In some ways.
It steals a lot from this movie.
I wouldn't venture to say it's anywhere near the same movie, but there are a lot of similar elements in this movie that Fury Road has.
Yeah.
And dude, there's so when I watched this 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
I hadn't seen it before. The only Mad Max I'd seen was Fury Road, and then I watched the original 3. This movie feels so much like I don't know if like revisionist Western is the right word, but it feels so much like if an Australian guy decided to make like a post-apocalyptic Western movie. So much of it feels
That's what it is, guys.
Like you're watching a Western. Like a classic Western. Like a spaghetti Sergio Leone Western. And to me, it's a lot of fun. You didn't get a lot you got some of those notes in the original one, but this one really, like with the way the music impacts silent scenes and the way you rely more on like...
Well, the first one was much more like cops and robbers than it was
right.
Western.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that, the way that we talked about how each of these movies in and of itself was just kind of a random story of an account of Max. Mm-hmm. We kind of talked about that before I had any idea what to expect from Mad Max 2. And this one literally was, based off of the narration that we got, just a random account of this guy who at the time was a kid, ran into Max somewhere along this journey.
When you started
in the wasteland, and then it ends literally just saying like Mad Max lives on.
Kind of like disappeared.
Like
into the night.
He disappeared, but he's alive. Something like that.
When you started talking about in the first Mad Max movie how it's like you were like it feels kind of like there's like no structure, like someone's just like telling us about this, like. I was like, man, I can't wait until he watches The Road Warrior, because it leans into that even more.
Well, dude, and
which
I'll be
I
honest,
which I loved.
When you told me, you were so excited when you found that Mad Max 2 and Thunderdome were on HBO.
I was pumped
because I think Netflix has Mad Max.
Yes,
HBO has these two, and like
I think HBO now has the first one as well.
Oh, really?
I could be wrong. I think they have all 4 now, though.
Well, regardless, of course I had seen, I feel like we're just going to talk about Fury Road throughout this series.
Of course. How couldn't we? It's literally one of our all-time favorite movies.
That's what I knew about Mad Max, and I wasn't that excited. Mm-hmm. And then the first movie came around, and it was good, and there was a whole lot to appreciate, but I was like, it's not, this isn't the Mad Max that I was expecting after watching Fury Road.
Yeah.
And then I watched this, and this is exactly what I was expecting. This is exactly what I would hope for from the Mad Max series. And we talked about how the first one kind of pushed boundaries as far as its action and dialogue and suggestive themes. Mm-hmm. This one kind of took it to another level.
Oh, yeah.
Which it's only, 6 years older?
I think 79 was when...
Oh, it was 79 that
when Mad Max
so it was 2 years older.
Yeah.
I thought it came out in 75 for some reason.
Yeah, Road Warrior was...
So 2 years later...
Yeah, 2 years later,
as far as its role as kind of an adventure movie, it really... it took it up 10 notches as far as I'm concerned.
I think they upped the brutality, the kind of... the path that Max takes from being kind of an uncaring anti-hero to an actual person who finds a righteous like what he says in Fury Road. He's a road warrior looking for a righteous cause or whatever he says. This movie to me feels like that's what he was a road warrior. He found a righteous cause. That's what this movie is. That's what Road Warrior is.
I think that this movie was especially interesting because it actually gave us kind of a look into Max's personality and the way that he thinks and the way that he struggles because he doesn't want to be a hero.
Right.
He's it seems like he's actively trying to avoid becoming a hero.
To avoid it shows you how much the past however many years of his life has truly broken him, from the death of his wife and kid to spending the past few years like scavenging for gasoline. Like, of course he wants to avoid conflict at any point possible, because conflict has only given him basically death in his whole life.
Right, and at the root of it too, he just wants to escape.
Yeah.
Like his goal is to just keep moving.
His goal literally is to move forward, hope that no one gets in the way, and hopefully be by himself.
Yes, he doesn't really know where he's going.
Nope.
And also we don't know how long it's been since the events of the first one.
Right. We just know that some shit happened.
But like you could easily see
and
how they went from
and you can
the
see
first one to
right.
now.
That's one of the best parts, the fact that you can tell, oh man, it's been, I don't know how long it's been, but it's been a pretty long time for sure. Based on looks alone, like the actual like physicality of like his old uniform, the way the car looks, the expressions on his face.
Is that the same car that's in Fury Road at the beginning?
Yes, it is.
That he wrecks? Because that scene where he wrecks the car in this movie, I was like, I've seen that before.
yeah. That's the other part. Like, that car is another part of the mythology. Like, the timeline has been so messed up by these movies.
Does his car have a name?
I don't know. I think they call it the Interceptor, maybe. But like, it's like a police interceptor. They just call it the Interceptor. I'm not 100% sure, but the car is kind of, in very many similar ways to Max, is like always for whatever reason part of the mythology, part of that, the old wives' tale, part of the mystery, part of that time whenever they talk about the Road Warrior, they talk about how he has this this car. But yeah, it gets wrecked to shit in this movie too.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. It was cool seeing him. The whole thing with his car being booby trapped.
Yeah.
And everyone kind of decides to call his bluff on his car being booby trapped, and then in the end we see what actually happens, and
it's pretty dope.
My
that was
favorite,
really cool.
My favorite part of this movie, and I think it gives a lot of insight into Max, is when he goes back to the people that were kind of taking him in,
right,
or whatever,
that were like keeping the gas away from the Humongous.
Yeah,
his name was literally the Humongous.
He's a big dude.
I think in like greater lore they call him Lord Humongous, but in the movie they just call him the Humongous.
Yes,
which to me is fucking hilarious.
It's hilarious. So it's hilarious, but when you think of like the psychology behind all of this, like how this type of situation and living in a world like this would kind of make you go crazy.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And how you would just kind of resort to, acting kind of childlike.
Well,
and
it's not outside. What happens in these movies is not outside like the realm of possibility, or
you can see how they got there. But for all the characters,
for everyone,
every single one,
good and bad.
Yes,
absolutely. Yeah.
But back to what I was saying. My favorite part with Max that I think gives a lot of insight into who he is he returns to these people.
Right.
And the guy, the leader of this group that he's with, is going to drive the gas truck. Essentially, they're going to drive the gas truck in one direction, drive the people in another direction.
Right.
So that the bad guys will go for the gas and the people can live.
Right. And all the gas is with the people. Like
Yes, they're hiding the gas with the people.
Right.
The gas tank is filled with sand, which is that was kind of a cool twist. I didn't see that coming. And I was like, what is coming out of the vehicle? And then I realized when Max realized is when I also realized it. That was kind of cool.
Yeah.
But I love when Max comes back and the guy was like we had a deal there, or he says like there's no deal to be made, because Max is like, I'll drive the gas truck. And that's what they were trying to get him to do anyway.
In the first place.
Before he ran off.
Right. They wanted him to drive the tanker. Yeah.
So he comes back and he goes, I'll drive the gas truck. And the guy goes, there's no deal to be made. And Max goes, no deal. I want to drive the truck. Like the dude just wants to move. He just wants to drive. He wants to do something.
Right.
And it kind of goes back to like he's distracting himself to a degree, because he goes back because he wants to just be involved with the most dangerous part of this mission or whatever you want to call it.
There's one of my favorite moments in this movie is, I think, when they're like on him and the helicopter guy, the gyro guy, I think they call it gyro, are on top of that, like those rocks, and they're watching a couple like drive out of the little gated, like that community, and then the humongous men capture them, and they like assault the guy and rape the woman and do all these brutal shit.
Yeah.
Max and this one guy see it all unfold, right? It's silent. There's no dialogue in these moments. It's, kind of like a super somber moment, and the music reflects that. It's this really deep, dark. It's, again, one of those moments where this movie pushes the envelope of how brutal things can be. But that moment plays into Max's character too, because for him to intervene would be to risk capture, risk losing what he has, risk losing what he's trying to. It would get in the way of his forward motion. Now, by the time he kind of gets closer to the end, he does end up helping people out. But again, there's never really, you get kind of that feeling of like, he's got to be doing this for a purpose, but he never shows his hand to say, I'm doing this because I care about you.
It reminds me of, what it reminds me of is...
He's a very concealed person.
It reminds me of Book of Eli. Denzel Washington's character is the same way. He watches all this horrible shit go on, but he never gets involved because he's just taking care of himself. Like, his goal is to survive.
Because he has one goal. And one path.
And it's to walk west, right?
To go west.
That's all he's trying to do.
Where are you going? West. Can I come with you?
No. That's all he's trying to do.
Yeah.
And it's like, as far as that goes, it's kind of a similar character development.
I think so too.
I like that you mentioned the sound and the somber music. This, like, the sound editing really stood out for this movie. I loved, you and I have talked pretty extensively about the lack of music in films and how it can be used strategically. And this movie, it really stood out. When George Miller made the decision to cut music entirely, where it would just be completely silent, or all you hear is the rumble of the cars.
And the wind, the sand and the wind.
I loved the way that they edited the dialogue as well, which part of it has to do with the technology as far as audio capture.
Right, like audio dubbing
at the
and
time,
stuff like that, yeah.
But when they're on the road, when they're fighting and when they're chasing, you hear a whole lot more of the wind and the cars and the road noise and the explosions, and the voices are kind of like quiet in the background.
Dull. Yeah, they're
how
hard to
you would actually hear it if you and somebody else were on top of a car trying to yell at each other.
Dude, it's like in Fury Road. The scene in Fury Road when he's in front of the car and he's got the mask on, like he says something, like his car. Someone drives his car up right next to him, and he starts saying something. I never understood what he said until I watched it a couple weeks ago, and I turned the subtitles on. I was like, oh, that's what he said. Like, that's part of George Miller's genius is he understands like the sounds of what's in a scene, around a scene, outside of the frame, inside of the like. His knowledge of sound is amazing, and it shows, especially in this movie, and it continues to show through into Fury Road.
Well, and for the viewers, it's like intentionally frustrating because you're like. Yeah, you're like straining to hear what is going on and what is being said as if you were kind of living it out.
For me though, when I think about it when I'm watching the movie, I'm like, man, I can't hear shit right now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I probably wouldn't be able to hear if I was there either.
Exactly.
And
that's
I would
exactly
go,
what I'm saying.
What did you say? What? And then I still wouldn't be able to hear him. I'd go, fuck it, you know what? I'm just gonna go, and I keep driving forward. For guys like you and me who think about it, who sit down like this, talk about a movie. It's cool. It's a cool like thing. Yeah. It adds to how well made you realize the movie was. For obviously, for like casual people who are just watching this, like, oh, I heard there's an old Mad Max movie. I saw Fury Road.
Yeah,
I kind of liked it. Let me watch this. Yeah, it might not have as much of an impact, those moments like that. But for guys like you and me, it's amazing because when we sit down like this, kind of pull things out of the movie like that are not necessarily immediately noticeable.
I think that movies like this and we haven't done Thunderdome yet, but
yeah, we haven't done
movies
Thunderdome
like
yet.
this and movies like Fury Road,
Mm-hmm.
they get kind of a bad rap because the story is lacking in a traditional sense.
Yeah,
As far
Right.
as point A to point B, clear beginning, clear
Right.
end. But there's so much artistic value in these movies
Yeah.
that could kind of be. I feel like a lot of people will just kind of one off these as
Yeah.
like it's just cheap action or cheap entertainment, and it's not that. It's so much
No.
more than
But
what people might give it credit for.
I think people also don't give the character of Max enough credit, especially in
Yeah.
this movie, especially in Fury Road. I think like to me it's amazing to have a character that is so frustratingly hard to understand.
Mm-hmm.
But there are so many moments where, based on just like minor like notes in his facial expression, ways he acts, things he says, there's a like a million things going on in that, like, with that character. It's just kind of up to you to interpret what it is.
Yeah.
And I think for a creator to be able to make a character like that is so full of depth that you can actually decide why he's making decisions, why he's saying what he's saying, why he's doing what he's doing, and probably be right with whatever whatever decision you come to in your head. You're like, I think it's this. George Miller would go, yeah.
Yeah,
And then someone else is going to come in and say, I think it's this. And
Right,
George Miller would go, probably.
It's one of those movies where they leave a lot of the creative responsibility up to the viewers.
Same way with Fury Road. I think same way with pretty much this entire series.
You get to build the story however it is you want it to be built, and you're not wrong and you're not right, and it doesn't matter.
Right.
Because
You're in for a hell of a ride.
It's gonna be whatever you want it to be.
Exactly. Yeah.
And
you get to watch some dope action on the way.
You could get a room of 100 people, and 100 people will walk away thinking
Completely
at least
different.
something differently
Yes.
about the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's
Right.
how we got here, like we talked about, we don't know how they got from the end of the first movie to this movie.
Right.
Whether it's what Max is really motivated by, we have no idea.
Right.
And that's kind of what makes it fun, because you can sit down. It's a movie that you can sit down and watch mindlessly and just be entertained.
Yeah.
Or you can sit down and really kind of dig deep into what you think it means and what
Right.
kind of the
Right.
bigger themes are.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not a wrong way to watch it either.
No.
Like, you're
No,
still going to
absolutely
enjoy
not.
it.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot to take from it, but if you don't feel like taking anything, then just sit down and watch the cars crash,
Yeah.
because it's fun as hell.
Because it's still pretty cool.
Yeah.
There's a lot of great action in this movie, even
Yep.
especially for a movie that came out in '81. It
Yeah.
was still kind of low budget, not really like there wasn't a big studio attached to it yet. It was still George Miller and his producing partner just kind of throwing some money at a. I mean, what's his name? Plays Max. Mel Gibson. He was gaining popularity, but he still wasn't like. I mean, it was 2 years after.
He wasn't a star yet.
He wasn't a household name yet. So for a movie like this to come out and look the way it does, with the budget it had and the people it had working on it, it's just, again, like the original, is just an achievement of its time. That if you could, like, I don't know, like, what movie today is in a similar vein as that. You know what? Like,
Mad Max.
I couldn't
That's
think.
it.
I know that's like. I couldn't think of a movie like Mad Max that's come out in our lifetime.
That's
and-
not Mad
and,
Max.
and been like a similar
Right, yeah. It's
like thing, like low budget,
yeah.
crazy talented somehow director who doesn't need money to make an amazing. But like,
You know what,
it's
too?
awesome.
It makes me more appreciative watching this. It makes me more appreciative of Fury Road.
Oh,
I mean,
100%.
We'll get there, but
We will get there.
like, I watched this movie and it makes me love Fury Road more, and I don't know how that's possible. Because those they're not directly tied.
No, not at all. None of them are.
But both of these movies, actually, I got to the end and I was like, damn, Fury Road is so fucking good.
Yeah, dude. Okay, well, Beyond Thunderdome will do the same thing. Not as much as, like, The Road Warrior is far and above the best movie of this
the
trilogy.
three.
I would say Beyond Thunderdome is probably the worst. It's still like a fun, weird, like off the wall movie, but it's definitely the weaker of the three. I'm interested to see what you think about it. But it'll give you that feeling of like, Fury Road is
Yeah.
so good. All right, what are you thinking? I think you'll be surprised by my grade for this. But what is your grade
I
for
don't
this?
think we graded the last one, Gus.
Did we not? Are we not going to?
I don't think we did. We
Okay.
can.
What do you want to give this one? What do you want to give the OG? Well, let's start with the OG Mad Max.
I think we should save our grades for the last
For
one.
the
Grade all of them.
at once at Fury Road.
Is that cool with you? or
Yeah,
no?
no, I'm good with that.
Okay.
Let's do it, man.
Cool. Then let's bring them out.
Let's do it. You got it this time.
Yeah. Thanks for listening. That
Was so
thanks for watching.
such a motivated response.
Yeah. So
Listen, last time we talked about like hating puppies and
we know
we got a little aggressive.
I just
and all I'm saying is the same thing applies. All right. If you don't subscribe, if you don't give the 5-star review,
No, let's not be aggressive. this
okay, all
time.
right. I'm sorry.
We-
Let's
Listen, we're lovers, not fighters. We're
okay. That's a subjective assumption, but okay.
I'm a pacifist. And
I'd kill some motherfuckers if I had to.
oh gosh.
I would have cut that part out.
Yeah, you should. You should. Please stand by. Yeah, so listen to us anywhere that you
Yeah.
listen to things.
Also, seriously though, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening.
Yes, of course.
We-
yes.
Also, if
We
you're
love
on
you guys.
if you're on YouTube, you know how to hit the subscribe. It helps us. You know how to do it. If you're on YouTube, you know how to watch. Like if you're literally on YouTube for the first time ever watching this video right now, that is a landmark achievement. in
That's
history.
incredible.
And please let us know because that would be cool.
Yeah, that would be
We
cool.
want to talk to you. Who are you? And how?
I don't care who you are.
How
I'll
is-
talk to you.
How is this the first YouTube video you ever watched? Ever downloading YouTube?
I want to
Anyway.
talk to anybody about any of this stuff. Even
Yeah.
listen, if you
Seriously.
have not even a movie, if you have anything that you want to talk about that we haven't talked about, we'll talk about
Hit
it.
us up.
I don't care.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it.
We're on social media.
We are on social media. Front_row media.
Yep.
Is there a one?
One.
I
I
don't-
believe there is. I can't check because my
I'll check.
My
no,
phone's-
I'll check.
over there needs to be over here.
No, I don't think there is. No, there's not. The one is on our email. That's what I was getting confused about. We got a one on our Gmail account. Don't send us emails, people. I don't
Yeah,
check that
emails
email.
are fucking. Okay, listen. Actually, I'll check. You know what?
Dude.
You know what? I will check the emails. I don't love emails, but if people are really like,
If people are that invested where they're going to send
Yeah.
us emails,
yeah,
frontrowmedia1@gmail.com.
Phil, I'm scared.
Dude,
Do you remember that line? Have you seen Hangover Part 2? No, dude.
Sorry.
One of my favorite parts. Alan's hair shaved. Like
Okay.
hear a banging noise, and he looks up, and he looks at fucking what's his name, the guy who plays Phil. He's also a lone survivor. Or not lone
No,
survivor. He's Chris
American
Kyle.
Sniper.
He's American Sniper.
um,
What is his name? Bradley
Cooper.
Looks at Bradley Cooper's character. They're both looking up, and just fucking Zach Galifianakis, who's
Most-
hilarious.
Always.
Phil, I'm scared. I love it so much. Every time. Makes me laugh every time. Where were we? We were talking about social medias.
We were. Email.
Socials. Email.
Frontrowmedia1@gmail.com.
Send us an email there. We will look at the emails
One day.
sometime in the future.
Facebook, we are Front Row Seats.
DM us,
We are
or-
Front Row Seats on YouTube.
Facebook Messenger us, whatever it's called.
Front_row media.
Ask a question in the comments on
Instagram.
YouTube. We'll
Yeah.
answer. We'll answer. We will have literally. Listen, this guy right here.
We have
We can put you on. You can call us, and we will put you on the show.
100% reply rates to our
We do.
to our
YouTube,
YouTube.
all of our accounts actually.
All of them.
We do. We do. Shit. It's okay. Hey, you know what? We love doing this.
we
and we
do.
love that you listen. So let's wrap. I'm starting to sweat. We got to wrap this up.
Honestly, I'm going to bed.
all right. You want me to sleep here tonight?
No, I'm dude. I'm sleepy. I'm sleepy.
Ron,
bro.
where are my legs, Ron? Why don't I have any legs? The 93! Ah!
Don't you wish that evil upon me, Ricky Bobby?
Don't you put that curse on me, Ricky Bobby. I hope your kids
No.
born without legs. Don't you put that curse on your freaking baby.
Oh man.
Dude, I love doing this.
I did too. I
Listen.
honestly do.
I love how it always goes off the rails at the end, and we never get into it until about half an hour at the beginning.
Dude, it goes off the rails beginning, middle, and
yeah.
end.
Did
It
you stop the
doesn't-
recording?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
All right. Well, let's get the.
Should we?
Yeah, I think we're good. They know where to go. They know our socials. They know we love them. Oh man.
Wow.
I gotta take the headphones off. Oh wait.
I'm not blind 23 hours a day or 22 hours a day. What are you doing? Oh.
I don't know if you heard me the first time. I'm gonna say it to you really slow.